Hi everybody, thanks for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.com. Today I can barely fit today's project into the camera shot. It is huge. This is a box, and inside this box there is a full-size bottle of wine. So it is big. This is all hand stamped decoration, and then there's a nice little ribbon round it. And yeah, I can show you. So the ribbon will just slide off, and then the lid will slide out, and you can see there's that wine inside. So let me pop it to one side and I'll show you how I made it. But this is something that I made a smaller version of this, I think it was 2 Christmases ago, to hold a smaller bottle, but people have been asking me to do a full-size one, so this is what we are going to do today. Now before I start, I just want to tell you that not all wine bottles are created equal. This is what I think is pretty standard sort of Cabernet Sauvignon bottle. So it has a base diameter of about 2 7/8 of an inch. So this box will fit this size of bottle. If you know Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, etc., they are fatter. This box won't work, but this will work brilliantly for this shape of bottle. Right. We're going to start with some Whisper White cardstock. I've already cut it, and this measures 10 1/4 inches by 8 inches, okay? And we're going to stamp it using the Tags and Trimmings stamp set. This is the one that coordinates with the gorgeous Christmas stocking pillow boxes. And we're going to use the large holly leaf and a little holly here to decorate along the bottom. And then I've used It's What's Inside That Counts, because with wine, it is what's inside that counts. Okay, so we're going to go for some garden green ink. I've just re-inked this one, so it might be a little bit juicy, and I've already inked up. It is juicy. I've already got it all over my block. I've already mounted my holly, and I'm just going to go along the bottom of my cardstock. With the holly leaves. One more there. And then there. Okay, so as always, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You're just adding a little bit of a pattern along the bottom. You put that ink away, and then I've got some beautiful cherry cobbler, and I've got my little holly. What is it? What is it? It's like a, you know what I mean. And I'm just going to then add some little leaves along the bottom in between my holly berries. That's what it's called. It's a berry, holly berry. I couldn't think what the word was there. There we go. Just going to then pop these. There we go, just like that. And then, as I said, I'm going to use the It's What's Inside That Counts sentiment, but I guess Enjoy would work equally, as would Celebrate the Season. Yeah, they're all really good stamp sets, sentiments. But before we do that, I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and we're going to put this in this way. I'm just going to drop you down a little bit. I had the camera tripod up high so I could show you the bottle easily. Let's see, this works a bit better. And all I'm going to do is put my holly leaves along this side, and then I'm going to score at 2 inches. Just there, okay. Put my scoreboard away for just a second. We are going to get it out again in just a minute, and my camera's falling over, so let me just straighten you up. There we go. And then I'm just going to do this by eye. If you wanted to, you could of course measure and put this perfectly in the centre. But I'm just going to go roughly for the middle of my cardstock. Get that straight. Am I the right way up? Yep. And yeah, something like that. It's inside what counts. Perfect. Let's bring our scoreboard back in. I'm going to do a little bit more scoring. Just going to close up my ink so I don't put my hand in it, which I will inevitably. And we are going to do some more scoring. So we're now going to score along the long side. Let me lift you up so you can see that. And we are going to score this at, now these are a little bit complicated measurements, but remember they will be all over on craftycarolinecreates.com. I will remember to put them on this time. So we're going to start at 1 5/8 of an inch, there, 3 1/4, 4 7/8, 6 1/2, 8 1/8 of an inch, and 9 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm just going to put that side to one side for just a second, and then I'm going to bring in a piece of I actually ran out of garden green cardstock, so this is wild wasabi, but I think it still works. And this measures slightly different. This measures 10 inches by 8 inches. Yeah, 10 by 8. And we're going to store this again with the long side at the top. Very similar. So you're going to do 1 5/8 of an inch. Ooh, 1 5/8. 3 1/4. 4 7/8. 6 1/2. 8 1/8 of an inch. And 9 1/2 inches. Okay, flip it round and we're going to score it just at 2 inches once again. There we go. So remember, all of those measurements are over on craftycarolinecreates.com. Now we're just going to get our bone folder and we are going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. And while I'm doing this, I just want to take a second to remind you that you can now pre-order, you can reserve your Stamparatus, which is Stampin' Up's absolutely fantastic stamp press. I will put a link in the description bar below where you can go over and you can order your stamp press, and they will ship to you around the 1st of February. But if you put your name down before the end of November, you will be guaranteed to get it then. And you don't pay anything now, you pay it when it is shipped. So if you are interested in a Stamparatus, do absolutely put your name down for it now. I've already got my name down. Stampin' Up don't tell me if anybody has reserved it. So if you are reserving it and selecting me as your demo, do let me know so I know who to get excited with and who else is looking forward to it arriving. Right, so that's all my scoring and burnishing done, and we're going to start on the base bit. So my scissors seem to have been stolen. I know where they are. Eva borrowed them to wrap up a present. So let's use snips. Because my normal scissors are in the kitchen where Eva was wrapping up the birthday present earlier. But we can use these just as well. And all I'm going to do is just cut up those score lines just till we get to the one going in the opposite direction, and at the end I notch that out completely. Yeah, okay, there we go. Alright, now I need a bit of fuse, which hopefully I have to hand. I do, here it is, and I'm just going to put some fuse along that thin strip there. Okay, just along there like that. You can see that glittery. And then I'm going to bring in my bottle of wine. So this is another bottle of wine actually. It's the same type as I showed you. This is fantastic wine. We found it and it's a really good price at the moment, so we might have stocked up. And I'm just going to wrap my box around my bottle. Okay, and those score lines we've made will make it nice and easy to wrap round. It should just fit perfectly. So you can then stick it down. Oh no, I didn't. You see what I did? I didn't line it up at both ends. You need to line it up at both ends. I'm making it look a lot harder than it is. So just line it up there. I am making it look a lot harder than it is, I promise. I'm making it a lot harder than it is. If I didn't have the camera in the way, it would be a lot easier. So I'm just going to stick that down, that end there, and work along till we get it. There we go. Okay, so just wrap that around my bottle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold these in. So just push your bottle up a little bit. There we go, and these will fold in, can you see, to make our nice little base. So the way I find to do it is some glue works simply. Again, I can't find where my Tombow is, so this is just clear Tombow. This was a gift from a customer actually, this glue. Just going to put some glue down and fold the flap over. And then the last one, just going to get glue into the edges, okay, and just sit that up, and the weight of the bottle will allow that to glue. And while that's setting, we're going to do pretty much the same with our lid piece. So we're just going to cut up all those score lines along the bottom. There we go. One there, two more to go. It is a bit quicker with the bigger scissors, isn't it? But this works just as well. Okay. And once again, we're going to put fuse along this strip here. Okay. And then I'm going to bring my bottle in again. I'm going to flip this round, so this is going to be our neck section, effectively. And I'm just going to find where my seam is, and I want to line up, here it is, my seam on this one with my seam here. I'm just going to wrap this round. And then just like last time, you can stick that down. There we go, I showed you, it's actually really easy to do, okay? And we ended up, I can't see, I need to put the camera up again, don't I? But you can see how it's coming together. Let's go up again a bit with the camera, try and fit it all in. You get to see my wallpaper. So let's put it on its side. And I'm just going to slide that up, and then once again fold in each of the top sections and glue those down one by one, just like we did at the base, but just obviously in reverse. There we go. And turn that one over, and last bit of glue, and there we go. I'm just going to hold that one for a second, and you can see there our box is basically constructed. I'm just going to slide off the lid. I'm just going to hold it tight because it hasn't quite dried. I'm going to flip that upside down, and if you saw on the example, we had some ribbon wrapped around it. So this is my hole punch. This is 1/8 of an inch hole punch. And I'm just going to punch it in on these two sides. So this is a 6-sided shape. I'm going to do two opposites that are sort of round the corner from your sentiment. So you've got two that sentiment is stamped on, and then the next two, I'm just going to punch a hole about, what's that, about a centimetre up. Oh, catch the camera before it falls over. I said I'd drop it because it's up so high. So I've just punched a hole there, you can see, hopefully. And then on the opposite side, I'm also going to punch a hole in roughly the same place. Okay, and then I have some gorgeous ribbon. This is the quilted Christmas ribbon, which is the one that has that beautiful garden green and real red stitching. I just think it is so beautiful. And we are going to come from the back. I might just, you can tell me off for using my paper snips and ribbon. I'm just going to snip that there, and I'm going to come in from the back of the box and through one of those holes I've just made. There we go. I'm going to pull that through. I'm going to pull out quite a bit of this ribbon, trim it off, okay, and then it's going to go underneath the box, effectively, underneath the bottom of your bottle, and then back out through on the other side. Right, so bring this in, and this should slide back over your bottle. There we go, perfect, just sits on there. And then I'm just going to pull this ribbon through, And what I want to do is tuck it underneath the bottom of the box, and this will just also give a little bit more strength and stability to your box. Okay, push the lid down. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that very well, but I've basically taken my ribbon and looped it underneath the base of the box here, and I've taken it through the holes on either side. This one's twisted, so I'm just trying to straighten the ribbon up a little bit. There we go. Oh, there we go, I got it. Have I got it? There we go, straighten it up. Sorry, this is the perfectionist in me coming out. It needs to be perfect. Right, there we go. And then all I'm going to do is pull that taut at the top, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to tie that in a bow. Okay, and then I can trim those edges. And voila, there we go, all done, ready to go. Do make sure you do hold it at the bottom of the base, and make sure that ribbon is nice and tight. And you can also use that ribbon, you can't see, let me lift you up a bit more. You can actually use that ribbon as a handle because you are hooked underneath the bottom of the box, so it's nice and sturdy as a handle. And there we go, a nice way to wrap a whole bottle of wine for Christmas. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.